Since we're BSing, since we're shooting the shit.
We're shooting the shite. So
you said like that the Exodus game, who was it from BioWare that is involved?
Eric Costin. He skateboards and makes games. And also Ron Burgundy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's going to be like a skating, jokey kind of newsy vibe, I think.
It'll be like it's Tony Hawk, but in space.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch of them that came over when EA hit. Oh, boy. Just dropped my shit. Hold on. Oh, goddamn. Playing with cards while I'm talking, and I dropped all my cards.
Oh, did you get any cool cards? Like, is it a special deck?
No, it's a bicycle deck. Blue.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that's what I use to do my movements, to do my trickies.
Are you doing some close-up magic?
Doing what?
Are you doing some close-up magic?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I could. I'm very good at it. I could do some like camera magic and shit.
Nice.
No, I just do like flourishes and finger card things, like where I cut the deck with one hand and like spin things around and like fan it out and then drop all my cards. I usually either play with a knife while I'm on the computer, as if I don't need two hands, and or cards. So
yeah,
I probably won't cards because you're going to hear them in the mic. So let me stop.
I never need two hands. I just use my forefinger and thumb. That's all I need. That's the size.
Some are not blessed. Some have been developed, others have not yet.
The dung gods did not smile upon me. They said, "Thou shalt not use a whole hand."
Let me see. If I can get a list of these butt fucks. And I could give you their fucking lineage.
Lineage, the DNA.
That's how they say it in North France.
Lineage.
Yeah. And it's based off of Interstellar. That's been quite prevalent. So it's going to be that sort of trippy vibe. And so that's why when we were talking off mic, I think we're talking about the breadth of the game with like, it goes from like 2200 AD, our timeline. So I think it's carrying off humanity's timeline, essentially using AD system of time.
Well, and it's interesting too, because I think Matthew McConaughey voices a character in that game too.
Yeah, I think they revealed that, so which is cool. It makes the game like it goes up a little bit, right? If it sucks, they're like, well, at least they got McConaughey, and then it's like, I'll just play that part, or I'll watch it on YouTube. So yeah, it goes from 2200 to like what I say 24,000 AD.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
And because it's based off Interstellar, I'm going to say some wormholeage going on, maybe. So you like travel to and from time. I don't know how that works, but sort of that weird vibe that Interstellar gave us. Spoilers, holy fuck, if you haven't seen it.
Like at this point, like there's one of those things. It's one of those things where that movie's probably almost 10 years old now, right? Spoilers, yeah. Like you should have watched it by now if you're going to watch it.
Yeah. Let's see, they've got people from the Mass Effect team, people from the old Naughty Dog teams, before the game sucked.
So that's crazy. So they've got like they've poached all kinds of talent from good developers then.
And I'm wondering like who put it together. There's a whole story behind it. I bet you I can find it if I actually pulled it up and like read, but I don't feel like doing that on cast right now. But I bet you there's a whole story that like 2 people or 3 people are friends and they're like, hey man, we should like do a project. And then all of a sudden it got like some traction. And then someone came through with some money and they're like, hey, I want to get some money, and throw in some things like, hey, remember Jim? Yeah, that dude was cool. He always made the best Pop-Tarts in the office.
In the office.
And then like they came through and say, hey, yeah, what about Kyle? He was always good on Fridays. And remember that time he wore that funny tie? And then so they brought him in. And then they're like, well, what about Sarah? Yeah, she has a big butt. And then like, yeah, but she died. And so they didn't bring her. But they brought her sister, who is not quite as cute, but way better at programming. So I think maybe something like that.
Yeah. No, I think that's like that's a decent lineage there.
Yeah. I think that's how they came together. I'm sure I saw, because I was into this for like, after it got revealed at the Game Awards last year, the end of last year, I think is when the Game Awards came out, right? December, some shit. Fuck if I know. Either way, I got like into it, and that's why I sent you some stuff a little later on. I don't know when I sent it to you, but yeah. Then looking at it and like, well, this ain't gonna come out for 45 fucking years. So then I just lost interest.
Yeah.
Until today, I start talking about it a little bit. So.
No, I got you.
Well, I'm like wondering what are we gonna get? We're gonna get fucking what's our like, magic system? You know what I mean? What's our deal here? Are we gonna like psychic powers? Are we gonna run full Destiny, or we're gonna like?
Well, and that's
shit.
Part of what it sounds like to me is that it's gonna be like. Man, that sounds crazy. Can you hear that on your end?
Yeah, it got real weird.
Yeah. It sounds like it's kind of like Destiny in that sense, where you're the traveler again, right? Because weren't you kind of the traveler in Destiny?
Well, the traveler's around. You know what? I still don't know what Destiny's about. I'll be honest with you.
It's been almost 10 years now that Destiny came out?
Yeah, it's been 10 years.
Has it been that long? No, that's crazy.
No, it's definitely been 10 years. It's 2014.
Holy shit.
Yes, sir. Many moons.
Many moons. The sun has come and gone many times since then.
Oh, yeah. Like at least 6. I'm going to check on some shit, man. Because we are running into D-Gen podcast territory here.
Yeah, no. It sounds bad.
My latency's solid, and I'm running normal, so I don't know where the gremlins are, but yeah, I'm running pretty good. I mean, I got that massive 2.36 upload speed, so we're solid, bro.
Yeah. So let's see. Test. Still a little bit of gremlin-y? Oh, I'm just checking gremlin-y on my side. Checking my speeds, yo.
Maybe too many Elons are surfing the web. Too many Elon system.
So my download is 98. My upload is 32.
Well, I'm normal and you're normal, so don't ask me what's going on. I don't know.
It's so weird. Anyways. So, yeah, last time we talked, I talked about getting a new phone, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so I picked up the S24 Ultra, and it's okay. It's a phone. We run into this every time. Like, I'm always like, oh, man, I got to get me a new phone. And then I'm like, I get the flagship, and I'm like, I don't do shit with all the flagship features.
Yeah, and this one was supposed to be like AI integrated magic or something,
Well, and like the AI stuff that I've seen so far, like the coolest thing that I've seen it do is when Melissa texts me and she sends me a link, it'll summarize what the link is, like if I'm in my car. Because it used to be like, I know this is a stupid feature, right? But it used to be like, Melissa sent you a text. So I'd read it and it would be like, HTTP, blah, blah, blah. Like it would just spit out the URL. Yeah. And now it'll summarize what that link is. It's like, oh, there's some Adidas that she likes. And it's like, oh, okay.
Some funky cold Medinas?
Some funky cold Medina. I don't think that's that wasn't the right tune there.
I don't think it was. It could be. I mean, you make the world. It's your world, dude.
Amen.
So, like, Microsoft came out with their Copilot, right? Mm-hmm. And That thing's a turd. But
I use it a lot for work.
I try, but it's stupid. It just takes from like the top 3 websites, unless you like tell it to compile and give you information based on what it sees rather than directly off of the first website it catches. And I don't know how it catches these websites. This is my problem with AI. This is my big problem, man. Is it's only going to do what it's been told to do. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have it. It doesn't learn in the way that we learn. It only learns by the way that it can learn by what it's been told to do.
Right.
It's learn. It's just going to do the same thing. Like, oh yeah, I'll help you out. For instance, like let's say I'm playing a game and I want to try a new build out for my character. So I just put on on this stupid bullshit. I put in like, hey, create me a character that does such and such with such and such, and I would like to such and such, whatever the fuck, and I put something in there. And then it comes back with some bullshit, and then I'll say, okay, that isn't quite right. So maybe I'll say, well, instead of that, let's try chugga, whatever. And then it comes back and like, okay, and then you see what it pulled from, and then you look at the websites, and you're like, oh, if I typed in on a regular chat that doesn't have any bullshit, I would come up with those 3 websites at the very top. So what it just did was just like, hey, I want to take from the top 3 websites that are available to me, and I'm just going to spit them out verbatim and make no sense to you. Unless you tell it to do a personal thing, right? Mm-hmm. And it comes back with some bullshit that I don't know what the fuck. I have no idea. I guess it just randomizes, like it randomizes pictures and shit. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I've been using it for at work, like I will use... like if I'm consolidating something or if I'm composing like a letter, I'll take like information because I've been doing like basically what they call like a KPI video, which is a key performance indicator. And it's just like meant to be a refresher for people to be able to watch to remind them of how this thing functions, right? So I'll put in there, act as a script writer. I'll tell it that first, and then I'll put in the information that I want and then tell it to put out something. And then it functions a little bit better. But the prompting is important. Otherwise, it's just regurgitating exactly what's there. So I wonder if you could tell it to be like, act like you're a professional game player and tell me how to build this type of character in this game.
Yeah, it may be able to do something like that. Because like when I just asked about the Exodus game developers, and it just says... learn more at gamerant.com and engadget.com. Like, no, I don't need to learn more.
I want you to tell me.
Let me see naked pictures of Sarah Parker. And then it's like, we're sorry, we can't do that. It's against our guidelines. So what? Come on, man. Let me see it.
And then we'll show you a horse.
That's racist, bro.
Sorry. Against those, I was gonna say Jewish queens, but I don't even know she's Jewish.
Are those people Jewish? I think they're Jewish. They're probably Jewish. Let's be honest. Let's just be real here. Ooh,
that was nice and loud.
What was that?
Welcome to the Eclectic Podcast, the most eclectic podcast on the net, with your hosts Dylan, Rick, and Hans. This podcast is intended for mature audiences. If it happens to offend you, fuck off. Skynet is God.
Oh man, we have got some like fantastic audio going today.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I heard that whole song.
Did you?
Yeah, but it sounded like shit.
Yeah, it kept on feeding back through. I'm like, what the hell?
I mean, Discord just did an update as I started it this morning. So there's that. Maybe it's a Discord issue. I don't know.
It could be. Well, even Discord's got an AI bot now. It's called Clyde.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It does a lot of shit. All right. I'm familiar with that fuck.
I don't mess with Clyde.
No.
I don't
Hello?
mess with no Clyde.
Fry. Lost you.
Can you hear me?
There you are. There you are. Yeah, you cut out. I heard it was something, and then you're like, and it just became robot.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem back in the day, you know, and it just came and it went. So
Yeah.
we thought it was Skype. Remember, we used to use Skype.
I do. Because we went from Skype to Discord, right? Or did we go to something else in between?
We may have, but yeah, we went to Discord. I just thought it, you know, was the easiest way. It's like all the fucking gamers use it, and you see it, and it's seamless. But guess not for us. We don't have enough followers or some shit. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, and I think I'm still paying for the boost on here, but I don't think. I think that like it doesn't do any good.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what we got here. I don't know what's changed. It's been forever, but either way, man, we're back.
Back
First.
Again.
Back in it again. What? When did we do it last? Christmas?
No. Wasn't that long?
I think it's Christmas.
No way.
French. Fucking hip hurts, dude. Jesus. I think I got AIDS as the hip.
AIDS is the hip?
I got HIPAA AIDS. Yeah, I'm not sure when the last one was. I have to get on the podcast and check her out.
I'm checking. I can never remember which damn shits to use.
But it's been a minute anyways. It's been more than 2 weeks, so.
Yeah. No, it's definitely been more than that.
You've been a busy boy out here, hustling and bustling in the great state of
Ni Mexico.
the land of Lujan.
God. I keep on thinking like she's got to be almost done, but she still has like 2 more years.
She ain't never leaving, dude.
I have declared myself dictator.
She ain't never leaving until they put fucking term limits on shit. Which, if Trump gets in, he said that he's going to do that. I don't think that's going to happen because he's going to get over fucking ruled. But
Yeah.
I wish Trump wasn't in, and I wish Biden wasn't in.
Yeah, you know, I don't. You're not the only one that feels that way. I'm pretty sure.
I wish we were in a different timeline. Like this timeline sucks.
Yeah.
Oh man, like in the world where like Tulsi Gabbard gets fucking shit on. Meanwhile, we're stuck with Sleepy Joe and the fucking Agent Orange.
Fucking Carrot Top.
Like, come on, guys.
That's the best. That's the best we can do.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I was hoping what about like fucking Tulsi Gabbard and Vivek Ramaswamy went in together? It'd be fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I even somewhat I liked RFK until he announced his running mate, and then I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah. I was sort of the same way, but.
And that's the only thing I will say. Like Trump, the only thing that I see that could be redeeming for him is if he does get Vivek as his vice.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? We're in April soon, like this weekend. Well, Monday. Well, Tuesday. Whatever the fuck. April, all right?
Yeah.
March, whatever. It's weird. So, they should announce. Should announce that soon, right? It's gonna be Vivek, right? It's gotta be him.
I don't know, man. The only thing that makes me wonder about that is because Trump's ego is so big. I don't know if he can stand having to share the spotlight with somebody who's very popular with amongst the people too.
Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because if Trump something happens to him, like Vivek's young and all this shit, but I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna have like who is he gonna pick? He's gonna there's nobody. He hasn't talked about anything. He's just gonna pick some random dude that no one knows. Like, I don't know.
Well, and that's what I'm afraid of, is that he is just going to pick some asshole off the street because nobody will want to talk about them. They'll want to talk about Trump, and that's my concern, right? Is that he's going to be like, nah, man. But if he does pick Vivek Ramaswamy, then I'll be like, oh, cool.
Yeah, and see, that dude's got a big following, at least to an extent that you're going to pull a lot of people.
Yeah.
If people are already on the fence. But if you go with like random nobody, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know who to pick. I just don't know who he's like cool with that he's going to put in there. Like he would like to put in there. I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, the other side, for the love of God, and he still might win. I don't know. Our president is something else, dude, and I don't know why, but people like him still. Apparently, even though he's got like the lowest approval rating, but they say that about every president, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, I think he's got like, he still has like 4 out of 10 people would, like, apparently, according to the polling, would be like, he's doing a good job. I'm like, really? I don't think so.
Yeah, and it's the classic thing, right? They shit on the economy 3 years out, and then in the 4th year, somehow the economy gets a little bit better, and like, look what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not, but it works because people are stupid and they don't remember anything.
No,
like past like a year, and it, like after a year, they've already forgotten. They forgot about COVID. They forgot about everything. Like, if people are just stupid, man. They don't want to be dealt. I assume, I don't know, but it seems like people just don't want to be bothered by anything. So, you know, if they have a shit year and then the next year they have like an average year, they're like, oh yeah,
things have been so great.
It's been pretty good.
I love it.
My God, gas was $4. Pretty good.
Which is less than $5 like it was 4 months ago.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious to see who he's going to pick for his running mate. I mean, anybody outside of a rock would be better than fucking Khan.
Well, you know what's funny is like Kamala Harris, like they don't let her talk anymore.
She's a doofus. She's worse than Sleepy Joe, man. And that
her and her cackle.
seems like he's, before he went senile and old, like he was at least a figure, you know?
Yeah.
She is a fucking ditz, man. I guess that what it looks like, that whole fucking White House cabinet is just a mess of fucking idiots.
What is it? The Secretary of Health or whatever is like the trans dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the press secretary is just a fucking moron. Like it's fun. This
fun.
is a weird world, man.
Yeah.
And like Putin's gonna fucking shit on us with a nuke, man. What are they doing?
What's going on with the border situation? That's the last time we recorded, was the border was about to pop off. So that had to have been like end of January.
Dude, this shit is fucked up, man. They just had these fucking shitload of them just like broke down barricades and attacked the fucking border guards and shit. Like a whole bunch of them. And it was all like 20, 30-year-old dudes came across that motherfucker just running.
Damn.
Like in shape, like dudes, like who, like you're gonna have fucking trouble. Like there's not like it's a lady or a child where like you can contain them. No, it's a grown man, and there's a whole shitload of them
In his prime.
and they didn't look Mexican to me.
See, and that's the scary part, man.
Yeah.
Like, who knows who's coming in through the border right now? And the thing that kills me is like Biden continues to be like, oh, just sign the bill and I'll be the hardest on the border that I've ever been. It's like, what the hell? Why haven't you just done it?
Exactly.
Trump was hard on it. You know, you already had a policy in place that you went against.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Fucking money runs the shit, and there's apparently money and so what's the deal? They're flooding this place, and like, oh well, they say the theory that they're trying to get people over here to get votes. And it's like, well, you can't vote because they don't have a fucking voter card. I think Elon spoke on this a bit with that fucking Don Lemon guy, but it's like, yeah, well, that's the thing. The more people you have in your district, the more, or in your city, the more representatives you get, which then turns into more electoral votes. So, yeah, if you have a shitload of fucking immigrants in your city that are now naturalized to an extent that count towards census, then you have more voting power, because now you can have 4 more blue voters for your electoral vote.
Yeah, and then if you promise to give them shit, they're going to vote for you every time, Democrat, right? They're going to vote for that party.
Yeah, and so then they're going to elect the blues or the reds, whoever's the fucking thing. It's just a big wheel, a big cog, and I think that's why everyone hates on Trump, because he ain't a part of that shit.
Yeah.
And so he's demonized because he represents a changing of the guard, so to speak, because that fucking cabal, if they don't have power, then they got to work from the fucking shadows, even though they're a shadow organization, right?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Well, but you see that, so every time there's somebody that bucks the status quo within the system, you see the media attack them, right? So we've seen it with Trump. We've seen it with Musk. Say what you will about the Tate brothers, but I think they're kind of idiots, but they're attacked them. Who else recently have we seen this kind of happen to? There was some sort of discussion with that boxer, and I can't think of his name. I don't know if it's David Garcia or Jonathan Garcia, whatever. He went off on Twitter or on X talking about Bohemian Grove and child sacrifices and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying that he was forced to watch child porn and, like, was raped.
Have you seen all of his videos? Like, where he was like, he apologized eventually?
Yeah, it was very weird, man. I don't know, dude. Like, you got, for one, like, he's around De La Hoya, who already is a fucking weird fucking, like, he wears dresses and shit. And to each your own. But if you're into that sort of shit and you're in that world, like, you're getting close to, like, the people who like the fucking the children and shit. Nah, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, now what? We got Diddy on the run.
Oh, dude. You know how many people over the years, 50 Cent being one of the most vocal, saying that Diddy was fucking been doing this shit? He's been doing this shit.
And like Cat Williams, like he talks a lot about a lot of this stuff. But the problem with Cat Williams is he sounds so damn crazy most of the time that I don't know if you could trust him.
Yeah, well, he said he's the Black Alex Jones. He says a lot of dumb shit, but then sometimes you're like, God damn, dude.
Yeah.
He did fucking crazy shit right there that makes all the sense.
And when that's crazy that you compared that is right on the head. I'd never heard that before.
When he was on Rogan recently, I've never, and outside of Alex Jones, I have never seen someone say so much and say so fucking, I've never seen someone say so much, but say absolutely fucking nothing whatsoever. It is maddening to listen to him talk sometimes. He just says like, well, you know, this is the horrible accent. He's like, well, you know, if they said it, then it would be compromised. And therefore, you get what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck are you saying to me? Like, he has a lot of open-ended shit that sounds profound, but then I like look back at like a transcript version of it. Like, I try to see what he's saying. I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck he's saying.
He's talking madness.
His words don't make sense. They don't fit. He says shit, and it doesn't fit how a language is supposed to speak. Like, it doesn't work. But then he drops some fucking bombs, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, Alex Jones, who he is.
Oh man,
he's respected in the industry of comedians. I think it's because he is good at his job, and he sits back and watches people.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
He's got a lot of dirt on people, like you said. He knows a lot of shit about people, but again, how much? It's the Alex Jones effect. You got to take 90% of that shit and just say, okay, sure, yeah, haha. And that 10%, you're like, okay, yeah, that shit's gonna get you killed for that 10%.
Yeah. No, that's without a doubt. That seems definitely true, and it's been so weird. Like now, they're trying to tie Diddy into Jay-Z, and if it's tied into Jay-Z, then it's going to tie into Obama
and Beyonce.
And who?
Beyonce.
Beyonce. I don't know.
It's not Texas, and it ain't Hold'em. So.
Well, yeah. I wonder too. Like, Epstein seems like he was definitely some sort of an intelligence agent. I don't know if he was American or if he was Mossad or what, or Chinese.
Maybe. I think he was definitely a CIA. I think he was definitely in the CIA to some extent, whether he was like a high level informant or something. But it just seems, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And then right now, like with that whole thing, it's just a fucking bonfire. It's like a magnesium fire or something. It's so bright. Like there's not even any smoke. It's just like there's fire everywhere. And the problem is like, well, don't look at that fire. Look at this fire.
Yeah. Well, and that's the crazy thing too, right? Like they're trying to act like, oh, don't look over here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. And then like the fires, like they put up a clear screen to cover up the fire and say there's nothing there.
Yeah. It's like a bad version. Like if someone's like trying to hide from like crime bosses and they're like, they're blurring out their face and their voice, except for it's like, there's no filter there. It's like a glass screen. And instead of like changing their voice, it's just like an octave higher or something. Like, yeah, we could all see and hear, dude.
Yeah.
It's Wizard of Oz, right? He's behind the curtains and we see him there and he's like, oh, look at that. Sillies.
Pay no attention.
That dude ain't there. He's just fake.
And people are, well, I don't know. I want to say people are more than happy to go along with it, but it seems like there is a lot of awareness that's happening with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know too, man. I don't know a lot about it, but I know that's fucking weird, dude. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's all weird. And hey, look, at the end of the day, what am I going to be able to do about it? I just see what's going on and comment on it on a podcast, because the fuck can I do?
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's it. I mean, other than be aware and hopefully spread the word to other people. And I want to say like our generation seems like they're mainly aware of what's going on, but I could be wrong.
Well, yeah. Our generation is the last generation of growing up, having it rough, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like having hard times growing up. And I don't mean hard times in terms of like, I mean, I do, but I mean hard times in terms of like we weren't coddled. We didn't have like, oh, don't do this or do that. And then make sure you have this. Like we're just like left on our own as kids to fucking fend for ourselves and to not get hit by cars and to fucking do, all this different shit, where now it's like everyone's babied and everyone has this and they can always turn to their phone or to their favorite influencer to feel better about themselves or to make them feel less worthy because they don't have the fucking muscles or the cheekbones or the ass or whatever. That's what everyone's concerned with. And when we were kids, like we didn't give a shit at all about influencers. Like what is that shit? So fucking stupid, dude. Like, so I think our generation was the last to actually have our own thoughts, and everything since our generation is someone else's thoughts, because not everybody, generalization here, so don't fucking at me. It's no bullshit, but it's like everyone just wants to know what their favorite X celebrity is or whatever the case may be, and whatever they do, that's what's real and that's what I like. Oh, you like Trump, I like Trump. Oh, you like Biden, I like Biden. Oh, you like ass, I also like ass. Oh, you like penis. Well, I also like penis. Oh, it's not nice to not like penis. Oh, you're a racist. I think you're right. Like, it's different, like, so Me Too, so fucking, so quick. It's like you don't have a thought in your head, and as soon as someone says something to you, and you're like, yeah, I'm with that group. Come on. The fuck is that shit? Like, I don't think I've ever been with a group. Like, I've had my mindset and I've had ideals and shit, right? But it's like, okay, for instance, real quick, Trump. I'm not a Trumper. I'm not a MAGA. I'm not even a Republican, I don't think. But I just try to make my own sense, right? Like, if a candidate on once, like Tulsi Gabbard, for instance, she's essentially, she's a former Democrat. She's not Democrat anymore, but like, if she was Democrat and she was running, I would vote for her over these other two numbskulls. And that's Democrat. But I don't care because I'm not a fucking color. Like, I'm just someone who looks at things and makes my own decisions. To an extent, I get it. We're human and we have our fallacies. But I think, digressing a bit, it's our generation is the last to have our own thoughts and make our own opinions based upon our experiences in the real world.
Yeah.
Ever since then, it's been experiences based upon digital interfaces and bullshit.
No, and I completely agree. Like, when I look at the political landscape, I think about that, and like RFK Jr., like, honestly, I was really thinking about voting for him just to say fuck to Biden and fuck to Trump. But I don't like his running mate now. So I'm like, well, and it's not because he was a Democrat. It's just because he spoke more reasonable. And that's really what we need, is like, we need a reasonable unifier. A moderate is really all it would take in America right now.
Yeah.
Not these fucking extremes. Because Trump is an idiot. I'm sorry. And then Biden is senile.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, I like a lot of Trump's ideas. Mm-hmm. I like his ideals and shit and how he says things. He's a presence. We know this. He's been on TV for decades. Like, he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
But it's just, we've come to the point where that's our choices. An entertainer who isn't a Reagan. Let's make this clear. Like, Trump isn't Reagan. Reagan was an actor, but Reagan was an activist. He was actually a fucking pretty good president. So, like, and Trump, say what you will about him, he will get some shit done, but he also didn't do a lot of shit that he said he was going to do when he got put in office.
Right.
And it's because he did the same thing that everyone does. They say a lot of shit and they don't understand that they get into office and they ain't a fucking thing they could do because they don't run a fucking thing there in that White House. No. They do to an extent, right? But if these last 4 years of Sleepy Joe have taught us anything, is that you don't have to be aware to be the head of the state. You just don't. You don't have to be involved because someone else is pulling strings and they're involved. And that's the money people, right? So, like, we have to stop the money people. And how do you do that? Well, you have someone who doesn't worry about money. Well, how do you stop that guy? Well, you fucking take his money. Mm-hmm. Now.
Which you're seeing that, right? Like, and there's no way that anybody could look at this and not, it makes it look like such a witch hunt. Like, they're like, we're going to do everything we can to disable this guy.
It's 100% that. And the people who are against Trump, not because they don't like Trump, they're only against him because they're told to be against him. They have no reasoning behind it. This has been proven on the internet a billion times.
Yeah.
If you give someone some information and you tell them it's from somebody else, they're going to say, yeah, that's right. That's why I voted for him. Well, that was actually Trump that said it. Oh, that's weird. I don't. Yeah, because you're stupid. You're a fucking idiot and you're voting. So, yeah, of course, this is what we get. It's idiocracy. Yeah. Essentially what we're doing here. But yeah, so you have that and you take this dude's money away and then you take his fucking, you start to try to take his livelihood away. You try to put him in prison. You try to assassinate his character. And meanwhile, like, you don't have any proof of anything. And it's circumstantial evidence that's getting fucking put in as fucking real evidence. It's very strange. and people just looking at it and they're like, yeah, this is right. This is the way. Like, what if you were put in that position? What if fucking Hans was like, all of a sudden people are coming to him saying all this shit, no substantiated evidence, all hearsay, and like you're sitting in court and like, yeah, but now you're gonna have to pay all this money, and like, for what? For fucking what? Because wait, what? Give me a reason. Yeah, there's a reason. There's no reason. Yeah, you have to pay it. Like, what? What are you talking about? What kind of world we live in where fake shit just becomes real? Like, and that's what we've entered, right? We've entered this twilight zone of world where anybody could say anything and you're liable to fucking be screwed by everything. So it's so maddening. So maddening. But maybe if we can get like awareness, like you said, and we can like change how people think. The problem is, Hans, people are fucking stupid. That's the problem. There's too many people, stupid people. And unfortunately, they're not educated, right? So they don't know anything. They can barely speak English. And I don't mean that they're foreign. I mean that these motherfuckers don't know how to talk.
Yeah.
You see these people all the time. And it ain't everybody, but it's just, there's a whole lot of dummies. And they're stupid, and they're going to school, and people are telling them shit, and they're staying stupid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We gotta do something. Like, I don't know. It's wild. It's a whole fucking wild thing.
Well, and then at the end of the day, though, I mean, do you think at some level we're going to get what we deserve with this whole thing?
Sure. I think we are getting what we deserve.
I mean,
this happen.
Yeah.
As a country, we've let our country start to turn into a kingship again. We're starting to get a monarchy in a different term, right?
Yeah.
Our rights are being taken away slowly. We're getting to the point where you're going to be in trouble for saying things. So like, that's freedom of speech. They've been coming for guns nonstop, and they're going to try, and they're going to try, and they're going to try, and they're going to continue to try, because it's the people who don't want the guns are the people who also are making all this money off of guns, because they don't want people to have guns. They definitely want to have and sell guns, but they don't want people to have guns. Because that makes it easier to take shit over if you can take the guns away from the people.
Well, and that's one of those things, like, eventually they're going to win that fight, like, especially as time goes on. Because you get more and more of those population centers in the major metropolitan areas. They're like, oh, yeah, guns are bad.
Yeah, it's that or those population centers, they collapse.
Yeah.
And I think that's more likely than guns being taken away, as I think those places just collapse. I think New York is collapsing. If they don't get a strong mayor in there and they don't have a governor who's worth a shit step in, I think New York City is in trouble.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you already see like the great exodus out of California, right?
New York to Florida and Texas, which sucks to me. Sucks Texas, because Austin's a fucking shit show. It's like it's Portland 2.0. It's fucking horrible there.
Yeah,
and that's the epicenter. That's where it's going to start, and that's where it's going to spread. The next thing you know, everyone has to fucking leave Texas to go to fucking Wyoming, and then pretty soon that'll turn into shit.
They're just hopping from place to place.
Well, all these people left the place they hated, and they come to the new place, and they want it to be like the place that they hated. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this place would be perfect because we like it so much, but it would be a little bit better if they had this or this. And it's like, that's the shit that got you into the trouble you were in California. Stop.
Yeah. We need to just take all these people, and I don't mean blues versus reds. I just mean all these idiots, just these fucking political retards, these shills, and they just put them all in California, and then declare California its independent nation, and then let them deal with Mexico. Then all the people can deal with immigration over there.
Well, and I think you bring up a good point with some of that too, where it's like, you know what, it's not like it's just the blues that are idiots or reds. It's both, right? You can have your MAGA Republicans that act like Trump is the Lord and Savior, even though he's really not. He's just a dude that likes to talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And then you've got the people on Biden's camp that are just like, oh, he's so amazing. It's like, no, he's not. He's just a senile old man.
He's got trans and black people in his staff.
Yeah. That's
He's
so
his.
cute. He's so cute.
Biden is the best. He's Obama's friend.
He's Obama's friend. And Obama was amazing. No, he wasn't. He wasn't either. He caused more racial diversion in this, or divisiveness in this country, than any other president I've seen.
Yeah, he was awful. Obama was a fucking turd, man.
And
he was in there.
He didn't stop any of the shit that like Bush Jr. was doing. They were still bombing like crazy, just like he was.
Oh, they're buddies.
Yeah.
They're buddies. And Michelle and George are fucking, they know, their families know each other.
Mm-hmm.
They've known each other. It's all, man.
What do you think about that Baltimore bridge, this Francis Scott Key bridge thing?
Oh, that's racist, bro. We'll talk about that racism. I think we just cut Baltimore off from the world and let it go to hell for all I give a shit.
I've never been there, so I don't know what it's like.
I don't want to go. Why would I want to go to that shithole? The worst places in this fucking country. Outside of Disley.
DZ. Yo.
That was extremely local. If anybody listens to this podcast out of fucking San Juan County, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck did he just say? Did he get a fucking
stroke?
A stroke? He was talking about diddly. What the fuck he said?
This not diddly.
No, but yeah, dude. I don't know what's going on with that shit. Everything's racist. If everything's racist, so I guess we're there again. I guess we're just racist. Everything's racist. It's because I'm white. It's because he's black. Because he's brown. Because he's yellow. He's high yellow.
High yellow.
I'm high yellow. It was high yellow. Black people were the prettiest because they had straight hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it works. That's racist if I say it, though. I don't know, dude. Everything's weird. Everything's weird. But that is wild. That is wild. And like the first thing someone wants to do is jump on X, right, and say, "Oh, it's racism. That's the reason."
Yeah, I heard something. Somebody was blaming it on open borders. I'm like, what? No, that has nothing to do with that either. Like, what the hell?
Oh, it's the quick fix, right? You're gonna say whatever the fuck, so you get people to your site, and then the way you can forward them to your OnlyFans or your Patreon, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's funny because everybody wants to be a content creator, but like, if we're all content creators, how are we going to pay each other?
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild, dude. We have a guy running in my district 23 here in San Antonio. Brandon Herrera. He's a YouTuber.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, he's running for Congress district, right? And the guy we have in there now, I don't like Sanchez, but. Yeah, his name is the AK guy on YouTube, and that's what he does. He like shoots AKs, shoots guns. He's a gun guy, right? Second Amendment, the whole. He's like typical Texan, you'd think, but he's a fucking San Antonio. I don't know what you call them, locals here, but like he believes in a lot of cool shit. But he's getting railed in the media for being this or that, or like I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Long story is like, yeah, everyone's doing something, but once in a while when someone comes along like this guy who has great ideas and is thinking about community and wants to do certain things within the community, he gets shit on by the people who are doing all this nefarious bullshit because they're scared when someone comes in to try to break the status quo. You know what I mean? Because as soon as that money train runs out, you know, where are you going to be when you're sucking on that money dick, right? Mm-hmm. Because they say that's the root of all evil, right? Money. I think that's a part of a quote that I always fuck up. I don't know the whole thing, but like to bring things to God, like in a godly fashion, like money. Yeah. If you worship your money, and that means like, if that's what your motivation is in life, yeah, that's not good, man.
No.
And we see that, right? We see that money is fucking money corrupts. You give someone $100 who normally only has $1. Like they might do some crazy shit for that $100, right?
Right.
So maybe not sell their soul, but maybe they would because they don't know. But I guess my point is like shit's fucking in game status. Like I feel like we're like we've missed it, Hans, or it's coming. Like we're in it right now, or it's coming. Like I think we're in some end time shit, man. It's weird. That's what I feel like.
I can see that. Like if the more you look at like Revelations and some of the prophecy that was in the the end of the Bible there, it feels like the further we get with whether it's digital currencies, like a single currency for the whole world, whatever that case may be, like everything seems like it's running at a fever pitch towards that cliff. And I don't know if every generation always feels this way because they always feel like, oh, it's the end of the world, it's the end of the world. But it seems like really, no, it's like the corruption is apparent. Like there's no even hiding it anymore. Like we know. I went through an ethics training the other day for my work, and they were like, yeah, the political corruption, blah, blah, blah. Like they just talk about it openly. Like, yeah, we know it exists. And they show like an American politician while they're doing it. They didn't say which one, right? Like it was just a nondescript politician dude with an American flag on his lapel. But it's like, is it that common now that we're just like, yeah, no, we know that's corrupt, but we're going to be different? It's like, sure.
Yeah. No, we can't do nothing about it. So we just talk about it. It's no big deal. Just let it go on. It's like, nah. That's how we get into this position, I think. But, and what's that? Like, let's go back to the Roman times, right? Let's go back to the times of the Mongols. Let's go back, to whatever Ming Dynasty, right? Let's go back to these places where shit was at its end, right? Like when Rome was to fall, or when the Greeks fucking fell to the Persians and shit. It's like when civilizations fall, like are the people sitting around, and they don't have podcasts and shit back in the day, to our knowledge, we don't know really what the fuck they had. They had some sort of communications. I don't know who was like, if like Hotep was talking to fucking Socrates and shit. I don't know all the details, right? But we know that they were smarter than what we give them credit for, what most people give them credit for, of course. The shit they did was just otherworldly. We don't understand it. So saying that, when those civilizations started to fall, right? What did that look like to them? Like, does that look like what we see? Well, they're like, oh man, fucking Pharaoh John is a piece of shit, and he's fucking taking money from fucking Sabrina. I don't know. I can't think of a fucking Egyptian name. And they're like, yeah, well, it's okay though, because I just got me a new chariot and I like it. It has brand new spikes, and those spikes could cut the legs off of that other guy that was talking trash to me on Pharaoh X. And like, that's what they're talking about. And then like the people come across and like, hey man, you don't care that the Pharaoh's doing this and doing that, and like he's hanging out with this fucking Moses dude and shit. And they're like, nah, man, I don't know nothing about that. I just want to do cave drawings and shit.
Yeah.
And like, I
just want to eat my grapes. Leave me alone.
Grapes, and I want to look at some titties, and some man titties, and I want to see some dick on some titties and shit. Like they were into like some tranny shit probably. It's like, hey, look, did they think that? Well, they're like, this is the end of it, man. This is the end. Our prophecy's coming true, and it was the end for them for sure. And then something else came out of that, right?
Yep.
And then like
the only difference now though is that we have the ability to nuke the shit out of each other.
Yeah, but did they back then too? We don't know. Well,
we don't know, but I mean, we don't see necessarily any evidence of that kind of weaponry being available.
I'm on, bro. Come on, man.
Like that's the only thing that scares me this time with this demise is that we could eventually, like, we could really, or if not, like, nuke the shit out of each other, like nuke the shit out of a country or a continent, and be like, oh well, we used to have that country. They don't exist anymore.
We did it to Japan like a while back. That was pretty cool.
We rebuilt them. Like, hey, you guys are going to be new.
Yeah. Don't bomb us, Kay. We won't bomb your entire civilization. We won't kill all your civilians because you attacked a military base. Whatever. Digress a little bit on that, but yeah, I don't know, man. It is strange, but did they? We don't know. Did they have the ability to do mass destruction? I would say, why wouldn't they have had the ability to do mass destruction? They clearly had technologies that we don't know about that could make fucking mountains move, essentially. So why wouldn't they have the ability to cause mass destruction? And how do we know that they didn't? And that's sort of the problem. But I don't know, man. Anything past our recorded history, we may never know about because some people decided to burn down
the Library of Alexandria.
Had a whole lot of information that we could have used, but sure.
Set us back a couple millennia. It's cool.
Yeah, no big deal. You fucking righteous cock knuckles. Damn Spaniards, bro.
We're going to go in there. We're going to burn it. Burn it.
Yeah, man, dude. I don't want to talk about Catholicism too much, but man, pretty brutal, those guys. They're very fucking brutal, and they really want you to believe in their God, for sure.
Yeah.
Whatever version of their God they think, extremism and shit. But that's wild to look at. Any civilization that is hit. But I think you're right. I think on a global scale, we've never had a point where like the world could end. But the world could have ended for some people too, because they didn't know that the world was any different than their fucking little space they were in. Because maybe they didn't have the ability to fucking contact Yao Ming or fucking John Walker or fucking Sherry Karen from China. I don't know. Like you could just call whoever, talk to whoever online. Maybe they didn't have that ability, so they had no idea that across the Nile was a whole fucking other world. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe fucking Antarctica was beautiful. There was no ice there, so maybe it was like chill. And then all of a sudden it started getting cold. And then what the fuck's going on here? And then boom. Everyone's dead and the world's over. But really, it got cold there and the rest of the world was fine.
Yeah, the world had to have seemed so big back then.
Yeah, right?
And now it's small.
It's so small, but so big. Like I was talking about this the other day to somebody, it had to be probably Jess or the tattoo guy. Could have been that guy too. I don't know. About like taking all the people in the entire world and you could just put them like in LA County and they fit no problem.
Yeah.
Like all the billions of people in this world, you can put them into LA and no problem. It'd easily fit. That's how fucking massive this world is.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
How small this world is because everyone is connected. You got to give a shit about that fucking poor guy in Romania, and you really got to care about that fucking stupid bitch in fucking northern Canada. You got to care about all these people that you don't know. Yeah. Otherwise you're older or whatever. It's like,
well, and I was reading a book the other day and it was talking about how all the mining and stuff that we've done across the world, how much that the equivalent of that currently is from the beginning of time of recorded history that we're aware of to now. It's only the size, like if you put all those holes together that we've created, is only the size of like an Olympic swimming pool on scale of how much we've dug out of the earth. It's like there's still so much that we haven't touched on this planet.
Yeah, it's wild, man. What that Neil deGrasse Tyson, who, by the way, I think is a complete fool. He's just a buffoon at this point, but he likes to hear his own voice and like smell his own farts, just like all these other knuckleheads.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He likes to like sniff his own shit, and he's like, that's some good stuff.
I believe that my own shit was made up of everyone else's shit that rained down from the sky with particles and fission happens. So when I smell my own shit and I love it, I'm actually loving humanity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he would say. But he was talking about like if the world is so big, right, that if you rub a marble, it's smooth, right? Even if that's what the world would feel like, even with like Mount Everest and all this other shit. Like if you were big enough to grab the world, it would feel like a marble. It's so smooth. Like that's how crazy big the world. I know that makes sense, but it's like the world mountains are tall to us, but they're in scale to the world. They're fucking minuscule. They're nothing. It'd be like a tiny little pit in your favorite marble. Like you wouldn't even feel it. You wouldn't even be there. Like you wouldn't feel it, even though, like if you measured it, it's probably in there. Like you just can't feel it. Like if you actually got something, and yeah, that's my analogy. But yeah.
Well, what is it they say? Like Everest would fit easily in the bottom of the ocean. We would never even see the top.
Oh yeah, inside the Marianas Trench, like it just swallows it.
Yeah,
that shit's miles deep. So it's like, yeah, it just swallows it, bro. And we don't know nothing about that shit because we can't get down there.
Nope.
And the further we do get down, we see aliens and shit, man.
Glowing fish.
See those fucking fish? That shit ain't real, but it is real.
Terrifying looking things.
Yeah. How's Gaza going? Been paying attention to that?
I have not. Like it just seems like it's a bigger and bigger mess every day.
Yeah, I can't follow it, man. It's too much. Ukraine, all that shit. I could just follow like the outskirts, right? Because guess what? There's a lot of shit going on here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the border crisis and all that shit going on, like that's more prevalent to me, especially San Antonio, bro. Like where I'm at, this is the first stop, bro. This is where they're gonna come. The first stop. It's the first big city. You got Uvalde, fucking I don't know, you got a bunch of other fucking towns that run through, and then boom, San Antonio. And so like San Antonio is really bad for having a shitload of immigrants, right? Undocumented, obviously. Like there is a fucking lot here. So it's weird. It's a weird sort of scene. Like San Antonio's cool, but like you gotta like be on your P's and Q's all the fucking time. Like you can't just be getting into road rages. People like you'll get shot. And
yeah,
it's Texas for one, and then it's fucking immigrant Texas where there's like everyone's got a gun and there's all kinds of different cultures mixed, and so you know fucking how people react to shit. So yeah, pretty crazy shit. But I gotta worry about fucking Hamas, bro. I gotta worry about Ukraine, and I gotta worry about Putin, only because the media tells me. And I was like, I don't gotta worry about that shit. No. I could be conscious of it, and I could be sympathetic for suffering because I'm a human being. I get it, but also like I don't know my neighbor's little neighbor might have an ulcer right now, and he might be suffering, and I could be sympathetic to that. But what do you want me to do? Go to the doctor, man. Everyone's got their own problems. And so you want me to worry about like all these fucking people and shit? Like, what do you want me to do? I'm only one person. Like I could just be sympathetic and like whatever, but I ain't sending no money to these motherfuckers because that shit ain't gonna get there anyways. I ain't doing none of that shit.
No, well, and I mean, think about that. Like the amount of money that we've sent to Ukraine already. Shit.
That shit should be a fucking war. Should have been over. They should have like the Mall of America should be moved to Ukraine.
Well, and I think that's part of the plan, right? Like they're like, we're invested in Ukraine so we can have them under thumb too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we'll see what happens when the next prez gets in there. I mean, it's either going to be the same or it's going to be Trump. There's no one else who's going to be able to get in there. But we'll see what happens there. It seems like Numbskull had Putin in check, and maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. If they keep pushing the guy and he makes good on his threats, like, well, then we're just going to be in a nuclear war. So that'd be something. We can talk about it on that podcast.
We'll have to use smoke signals to communicate it.
Yeah, that's racist too, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, we were just kind of shooting the shit, talking some politics, talk some games, talk some bullshit. You know what I mean? Nothing special today, right? We didn't have nothing crazy. We know you're going to go watch the new Ghosties. Pretty excited. I hope you get your review of it a little later.
Little Frozen Empire. Yeah, I'm curious to see. Like the reviews that I have seen don't look stunning, but at the same time, like it's one of those things where Rotten Tomatoes they give it of course, the critics gave it a fairly low score, but then the audience score is kind of higher. So
yeah, I'll see how it plays, man. I don't want a whole bunch of Stranger Things going on. He was okay. I just don't want that to be the focal point because I kind of don't like those Stranger Things kids. They annoy me, especially Millie Bobby Brown. I fucking hate her. But
did you watch her Damsel on Netflix?
No, I hate her. Why would I fucking support her?
I haven't seen it.
I was the Book of Enola, or what was that shit?
Oh, Enola Holmes 2?
Yeah, no. The first one.
Oh, okay.
Good. The second one I watched for maybe 5 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I can't look at her anymore. She is a fucking piece of turd. I hate her so much. But anyways, yeah. So I'm hoping that they don't go too far into like leaning on that kid and like the daughter and shit. But I hope it's just an altogether good, fun time movie that is worthy of Ghostbusters, such as Afterlife was. I thought it was great. So,
you know what? I have a feeling. Like this one's gonna. Ghostbusters Afterlife played a lot of homage to obviously Ghostbusters 1.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling this one is going to be a lot more towards the cartoon.
Oh well, I mean, cartoon is actually pretty good. So I mean.
That's my feeling. Like my guess is that that's where like some people are like, what? But it's like I bet you it's the cartoon.
I thought you were gonna say Ghostbusters 2. I'm like,
No. I that's my feeling is that I'm guessing there's something in there about the cartoons that's going to bring in that nostalgia feeling because that's what they need to touch on next, right? Like all those kids that grew up watching Ghostbusters, the cartoon. Now they're going to be like, oh, look at it. Now it's in the live action.
Well, if they change Peter and Ray, then we'll know. Because then Peter and Ray were swapped in the cartoon.
Were they?
Yep. Huh. Yep. They certainly were. Yeah, I mean, you have to let us know. Come back on in a few weeks or so, or a week, or whenever you got time, and talk about unspoiler, because I ain't gonna watch it until it comes out on video. Video. Yeah, and then I want to see that, and then I don't have a whole lot else going on other than like if it's not Masons or work related. Right now, I don't know what's going on in the world. You ain't gonna go check out the fucking giant worm?
I do want to go see the giant worm, but I think I've already missed that boat with Rick and Chris because they've already gone to go see it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the wife doesn't want to watch it, so.
Like the big worm?
Well, and all the memes about the popcorn bucket for the worm, like.
That's so gross.
It is so gross. Like whenever you see that one dude, saw that one meme, and it was like, he's like, I want a Doom popcorn bucket, no popcorn, and extra popcorn sauce.
Yeah,
it's like so gross. He's like pouring it in there, and that guy's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's fucking gross, dude.
So nasty.
Yeah, I won't be able to see it until it comes out as well on movie if it's good, because I'm not gonna, because it's gonna be on HBO. I'm not gonna get HBO Max just to watch that movie. But I'm curious because I have to watch the original again. Oh boy, I have to watch the remake again because I gotta get back into it because when the remake was good, I enjoyed it. So
yeah, I did too.
Cool, man. Other than that, too, like I don't got shit going on. I got more of my tattoo done. I got another appointment in the end of April to get more of it done. So I'm kind of just doing that. I got a football game this weekend. The new UFL league is starting, so the San Antonio Brahmas are playing. So we got tickets to go see that on Easter.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty much all I got going on. I guess Fiesta Days are here, Texas, so in San Antonio. So there's going to be stuff going on there. Other than that, brother.
Yeah, I agree. Let's try and touch base again on the 7th. So
7th of April?
Yes. Jeez. Next Sunday. That's next Sunday, basically.
Yeah, we'll see what's up. For those of you listening to this point, comment down below 7th of April and let us know you're listening.
And let us know if you can understand what I've said throughout this podcast because my audio sounded like shit.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're being stifled.
Yeah, they're censoring me, censoring my world.
Cool, guys. It was fun, man.
We'll talk at you later.
Bye.